The darkness spread throughout Hyrule 100 years ago. He corrupted everything and he destroyed almost everything he could find. Towns, cities, farms. But then Ganon was sealed away in Hyrule Castle, and this seal has lasted for over a century. But how did they do this? How did they seal Ganon inside Hyrule Castle, and how do they keep him there? Well, time for a little surprise. Now the E3 demo of Breath of the Wild has brought a lot of new stuff to the table. And one of those things is Calamity Ganon. Link is awakened from his sleep and guided by a mysterious female voice throughout the ruins of Hyrule. He learns from an old man that a being called Calamity Ganon has appeared 100 years earlier and destroyed much of Hyrule before being sealed in Hyrule Castle. Although Ganon was trapped, his power continues to grow, and Link must defeat him before he breaks free and destroys the rest of Hyrule. He has been locked away in the castle and has been there for over 100 years. But the question is, how did he end up there? And most of all, what's keeping him there? If we look at the castle, we can see all kinds of pillars surrounding the castle, and they are covered with the same markings that we see in the shrines. So could it be that Ganon was sealed away with technology? Well, we do see types of electronic barriers in the game. For example, the barrier that protects the monks in the shrines. But would this really be enough to hold Ganon in place? Well, we have seen that Ganon is powerful enough to break through almost every barrier. He even survived a castle collapsing on him in Ocarina of Time. So what would be powerful enough to feel the barrier and keep Ganon in place? The Master Sword, also known as the Blade of Evil's Bane and the Sword of Time. It is imbued with the power to vanquish evil. In many games it is said to be the only sword capable of defeating Ganondorf when he has the Triforce of Power. Hylia created the Goddess Sword so that her chosen hero could one day destroy Demise if he was ever resurrected. When this sword is bathed in the 3 sacred flames, it was forged into the Master Sword. After its creation, the Master Sword was embedded into an enchanted pedestal, and the Great Temple of Time was built around it. We have seen time and time again that this sword is powerful enough to defeat Ganon, even when he is at full power. But could it be used to imprison Ganon? Well, we do see this in The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. After completing a small puzzle, Link opens a hidden staircase and descends to a great chamber beneath the castle, where he finds the Master Sword, the legendary blade of Evil's Bane that the Hero of Time had used to seal Ganondorf. Link removes the sword and time and color flows through Hyrule Castle once more. Link uses the powerful blade to defeat the now active enemies and returns to the surface. Now the Master Sword was used to seal away Ganondorf's army and his power. This seal has lasted for centuries and Ganon didn't break through it. His power was still sealed away when Link took the Master Sword. And keep in mind, Ganondorf had the Triforce of Power during this time, so the Master Sword had to work really hard to hold the seal. But in Breath of the Wild, we can see that the seal is already weakening after 100 years. So this means that Ganon is even more powerful than he was in the Wind Waker. Could this mean that Ganon is in the possession of all the Triforce pieces? Could that be the reason that the seal started to break down after only 100 years? Well, we can see that the Master Sword is in a terrible state. It started to decay and it's covered in rust and scars. It never rusted in any of the games. For example, in Twilight Princess, where the Master Sword is kept in the forest area. Wind, rain, the elements can do what they want, but the sword didn't rust. Not even after 100 years. So is the Master Sword breaking down because holding the seal is just too much to handle? Or is there another option? We can see that a lot of the Guardians turned hostile, but they're supposed to defend the people, right? Well, they also have a strange red glow, similar to the glow that we see around the castle where Ganon is imprisoned. So maybe Ganondorf corrupted the Guardians. But could he also do this to the Master Sword? Is the Master Sword so damaged because of Ganon corrupting it? It would make a lot of sense, since it would break the seal faster and allow Ganon to escape. But there's another option here. What about Zelda? We can clearly hear her voice at the beginning of the game when Link wakes up.
Open your eyes.
And when we get the castle cutscene, we hear her voice again.
The beast. When the beast gains its true power, this world will face its end.
But there's something even more interesting here. We can see a bright white glow in the middle of the castle during the cutscene. So could it be that the white glow is Zelda? Because we don't see the glow when she is not talking. And the more Ganon struggles to break free, the brighter the white glow becomes. If this is true, then could it be that Zelda keeps Ganon trapped inside Hyrule Castle? This could explain why the seal doesn't last as long as it would have with the Master Sword, and you can hear that the voice in the game sounds desperate. And after all, Zelda's the original wielder of the Triforce of Wisdom, and is also the mortal form of the goddess Hylia. As told in legend, after the Golden Goddesses were finished creating Hyrule, they left the Triforce in Hylia's care when they departed from the world. So she is the caretaker of Hyrule and possesses a lot of power. It could be that Zelda sacrificed herself to seal Ganon away and save all that remained of the kingdom. Maybe Link was defeated or didn't arrive in time, so Zelda had to solve it on her own. There's a good chance that this happened since the Master Sword is covered in cuts, rust, slashes, and maybe even dried up blood. This would also explain why Link was resurrected. And then Zelda did it. She sacrificed herself, was trapped inside the castle for over 100 years. And now the seal is about to break. And once again, Ganon will be free. Before you go, I got an announcement. I'm streaming on YouTube every Friday from 9 PM Central European Summertime to 2 AM Central European Summertime. So come and join in this Friday for a fun time. I play all kinds of Nintendo games, from Super Mario Bros. To The Legend of Zelda. So write it down in your agenda and join this Friday.